Hi there, dear friends. This is Bob Hatton. This is the Encourager. And today we want to start talking about this great plan that God has made for us. We want to have a look at this big picture of the goodness of God and see what God has got in store for us. Well, where do we begin to tell a great story? Well, the best place to begin is at the beginning, of course. And so that's what we do. When we open our Bible to the very first chapter, to the very first place, the first four words are... God. In the beginning, God. This story begins with God. And the Bible doesn't try to explain how God comes about to exist. It doesn't try to persuade us to believe in God. It just comes with this declaration. In the beginning, God. God was there right from the beginning. And then the Bible goes on to tell us what God did right at the beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And chapter 1 of this first book of the Bible, the book of Genesis, and Genesis is a word, a Hebrew word, or I think it's a Latin word, that actually means beginnings. So in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And it celebrates this awesome God, this uncomparable creator God who created everything, what is in the earth, what is on the earth. And by the way, he created also the universe while he was at it. 10 times in this first chapter, the Bible tells us that God said, that God spoke, and it was so. The way God created everything that we see is by speaking. He spoke his word. He opened his mouth and he spoke. And things that were out of nothing, things were then called into existence. And this is something that is so phenomenal about this wonderful God. And whilst he was doing it, he didn't even start to sweat. It was so easy for him to create this monumental creation that at least I am so, I stand in awe before it when I see the hills as we have in our area, when I go into the forest, when now and again I see the wild animals that are there. Today we were out walking and we got to see 3 deer, magnificent animals that roam around the forests in the area where we are privileged to live. And even when the cosmologists, they tell us that there are at least 170 billion galaxies out there. And a galaxy comprises of millions, if not billions, of stars. And there's more than 170 billion of them out there. And God he just created them. He just spoke and it happened. In verse 16, he said, and God spoke, and he also made the stars. This is just so fantastic. And there's a place in the Bible where it says he calls each individual star by name. And I know some of the stars, we do have names, and we know some of the names, but then at one point the people couldn't think of any more names, and they just give them numbers, and there are so many numbers out there. And now God created that. He didn't get tired at all. He wasn't exhausted. He doesn't get exhausted. He's just so incomparable. He is so mighty, so good. It's so wonderful just to ponder on this thought about God. God is the creator and we are his creatures. God is the creator and we are not. We are not the creator. We are not nowhere near even playing in the same league as he plays into. You know, we need to pause during the day when we are working. At least 3 times a day we take some food to us. We need a time when we relax. We spend time sleeping. In fact, the half of our short lives we're either sleeping, eating, or relaxing. And God is not tired. God does not slumber. God is always waking over us. When we read the first book of the Bible, we find out also how the Hebrew day was organized, a little bit different than our days. It starts in the evening and it ends in the next evening. So there was evening, night, and day the first day, and then there was evening, night, and day the second day, and so we go on to the fourth, the fifth, and then in the sixth, I suppose it was in the afternoon of the sixth day, God created man. He created us in his image. And we just came on the scene pretty late during this incident, during this great event, the creation, what was taking place. And then on the seventh day, God rested from his work, not because he was tired, because I already told you God doesn't get tired. He didn't rest from his work, but he rested so that he could give us something. He gave us the Sabbath. He gave us a day on which we should rest completely. And actually, this day is the day when maybe we should do that. What the Bible tells us or the psalmist tells us in Psalm 46, that we are still, that we are quiet, and that we acknowledge that he is God. Well, that's the first part of this great story. And I'll be continuing on Monday. So I hope you have a good weekend. God bless you, and I'll see you then. Okay, bye-bye. You're Bob Hatton, your encourager.